These are the top 10 hidden gems in Epcot, and number 3 will change the way you look at this park. Let's get going. Number 10, talk some trash. And I mean that quite literally. There is actually a trash can in Epcot that does speak lines of dialogue when you throw something away. This is an Epcot staple, and it was repurposed from Electric Umbrella, which used to be a quick service spot near the front of the park. It has a lot of phrases like, "Stop that, what are you doing?" or "Thank you." Now, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to find it, but last time it was spotted, it was in the Odyssey, and it has regularly shown up here for the past couple of years. It was here as recently as 3 months ago, so I say we go look for it. So if you look for a bin lid that says push, but in general, just check the Odyssey bins. You never know when one might talk to you.
Cool. Thank you.
Now, funnily enough, this trash can is not the only talking trash can in Disney history. There is a trash can that used to, and I think still could, roam around Tomorrowland called Push. I haven't seen Push in a long time, but when I first met Push is a talking trash can, will roll right up to you and talk to you. When I first met Push, we loved it so much that my dad helped us make our own. So when I was a kid, we had our own talking recycling bin named ECOM, which I think stands for environmental something. I don't know. I named it, and I don't know why I went so complicated. But ECOM was super cool. It was a rolling, moving by itself recycling bin. You could actually recycle in it. And we got to bring it to my school, and ECOM got to talk to my friends, which was neat. So yeah, I don't know. If you're ever wondering why I'm like this, that's why. Spaceship Earth is an iconic attraction that is a must-do when you're in Epcot. What you might not know is that you need to look for the presidents when you're on the ride of the United States of America. They're in there. Many of the animatronic figures in the attraction have face molds that are repurposed from other animatronics, and a lot of them are the presidents from Hall of Presidents over in Magic Kingdom. One monk was John Adams. Johannes Gutenberg is made from James Buchanan. Gutenberg's printer is made from Andrew Jackson. The Egyptian priest is a repurposed William Taft. The Roman sentry is made from Theodore Roosevelt. The Roman centurion is made from Zachary Taylor. One of the Turkish men is John Tyler. One of the scholars is Franklin Pierce. Dwight D. Eisenhower's figure was given a mustache and made into a mandolin player. Happens to the best of us. Nods to old Epcot. Epcot has seen a lot of changes through the years, going from a park that was really focused on edutainment to now a park full of pavilions that are still edutainment-y, and that's educational and entertaining, but some skew more entertainment. It's gone through a lot of transformation. They literally called it that, the Epcot transformation. But there are still some nods to what Epcot used to be all around the park today. Right here at Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, you can find nods to the Universe of Energy, with the logo appearing on the Xandarian ship, and the Guardians even playing the theme song as they ride up. Over at the Mickey and Friends character meet and greet, which is relatively new in World Celebration, there are so many nods, it's kind of hard to keep count. You can see the Horizons Butler, the Dream Machine from Figment, the Body Wars ride vehicle, Goofy in the Horizons hovercraft vehicle, the dinosaur from Universe of Energy, Fountain of Nations, SMRT-1, who was a robot character from the old Communicore. Lots to see there. In the queue for this ride on Good Morning Xandar, Star-Lord references how he is so excited to experience many now defunct Epcot attractions. He lists Horizons, Universe of Energy, and Kitchen Cabaret. And fun fact, this building used to house Universe of Energy, so it's a very fitting nod here. You can also spot Walt Disney himself in the Guardians queue if you're eagle-eyed. If you're missing Maelstrom in Norway, you can look out for puffins and trolls in the queue for Frozen Ever After. And there's still a hidden sword tucked behind the waterfall that you can check out when you're outside in the Norway Pavilion. In the Figment queue, there's a door for one of the scientists that says Dean Finder, which is a clever nod to the Dream Finder, the character that opened with the original version of that ride. And there are a whole lot more that you can keep an eye out for, but those are just some of our favorites. All right, time for number 7, let's shop vintage. There is a lot of unique merchandise in Epcot because of World Showcase, where you can shop from around the world. But there's one spot in particular that has a pretty serious hidden gem. Right behind me is the Plume et Palette shop. This shop offers complimentary personalization services for fragrance, and you can also find vintage handbags in here. So not only can you get lipstick personalized to you, and the case is personalized as well, you can also get actual vintage handbags. These handbags are supplied by a store called What Goes Around Comes Around. In Breedlove's words, it's the most fabulous vintage clothing store in the world, and one that when he lived in New York, he used to hear people talk about all the time. So if you're looking for that personalization or the fancier bags, you want to head to the shops right behind me under this arcade sign. The vintage handbags are at Librairie et Galerie. That's where you'll be able to find some brand name accessories. Now, these are going to be pricier. They are certainly considered investment pieces, but they could be very cool to own if you're looking for something like that, or just look at, like we're about to go do. Let's go. So don't be fooled by the Mickey and Minnie merchandise, because where's also got our brand name bags. And just across the way is where we'll find those personalization services in the Guerlain store. The Guerlain store is obviously, it's just a must stop. There were lots of people in there talking about how it's one of the only Guerlain stores in the world. And it's here in Epcot. Who needs real France? The smells were amazing. There were a lot of folks buying perfumes and things, lipstick cases, and that engraving of your name on the bottles or the lipstick cases are free. And both are refillable. One of the best things about Epcot is that you can participate in cultures from around the world. And number 6 is one of my favorite ways to do that. Partake in a traditional tea service. Now, there are lots of ways to experience traditions from around the world at Epcot. You can listen to music and see live entertainment. You can eat a bunch of different foods. You can shop for specific merchandise. Or you can head to Morocco and do something that I'm very fond of. In this pavilion, you can find Moroccan hot tea service. It is currently available at Spice Road Table. It used to be available here at Restaurant Marrakesh, but right now you can find it at Spice Road Table. It's usually a little too hot to think that you want to order hot tea, which I understand. But I have to say, when you're sitting in that breezy spot by the water, it might be comfortable enough to order it, and I really do recommend it. This is a green tea service that is super traditional in Moroccan culture, and the cast members will be happy to tell you about it when you order. It's made with green tea, fresh mint, and sugar, and it's poured from a height, so they pour it from really up high, making it kind of a theatrical experience when you order it too. The best part about this, it's only $4.79. That's it. That's all you have to pay, under $5 for this traditional experience. This is another one that's a personal favorite of mine. We used to eat at Restaurant Marrakesh a lot, and we would always get the Moroccan tea service, but it's just as good over at Spice Road Table now, so that's where you can try it. Number 5, you can eat this Epcot ride. For real, you can. Not the whole thing. Just behind me is Living with the Land. This attraction is extremely popular. You've probably been on it. Basically, you get to ride through a little bit of the history of agriculture and then through Epcot's very own greenhouses where they're growing for real produce that is used around the parks. And yes, you can eat that produce. Right here in the Land Pavilion, you'll find Sunshine Seasons and Garden Grill. These spots both serve some produce from the greenhouses, which makes it super immersive. Also, over at Nomad Lounge in Animal Kingdom, one of our favorite spots to get a drink and a little bit of a snack. You gotta eat for Living with the Land, man. Here comes our big one, number 4. Now you may know that World Showcase was originally supposed to open with a couple of other countries that never made it into the final version of the park. But what you might not know is that there is still room today for countries to be added to World Showcase. Yeah, that's right. We could technically get more countries in World Showcase. Currently, there are 11 countries in Epcot, with the latest opening in 1988. That was Norway. France and Norway have both expanded within the last 10 years, but those are really the last major changes. So we know for a fact there's enough room to add more countries, but we don't know exactly how much room there is. You can get an idea by looking at a map where those expansion plots would be, but most people theorize there's room for at least 4 pavilions, up to 7 more pavilions. So yeah, more countries in World Showcase, I'd be game. Let me know which countries you would like to see in this part of the park in the comments below. We all know about the Epcot festivals. They're like one of the biggest draws to go to Epcot. But did you know there are also tiny Epcot festivals? Teeny tiny ones, little ones that you just might miss. Number 3, tiny Epcot festivals. To find these tiny festivals, you're going to want to head to the Germany Pavilion. Right behind me is where you'll see the Tiny Train Town. This is, frankly, one of my favorite parts of Epcot. It is a little train village with little model trains going all the way through. My family is big into model trains. We got a train room at my parents' house, so we're big into model trains. The train village has been big for me my whole life, pretty much, but it's still big. Perhaps the best part about the Tiny Train Town is that the little people that live there do have their own festivals as well. So during Flower and Garden, you'll see they're having their own Flower and Garden. Right now, it's Festival of the Arts at the time that I'm filming this, and Festival of the Arts is going on in the Tiny Train Town. Basically, they get little mini versions of the banners so that they can get in on the festival fun too. If you're particularly obsessed with Tiny Train Town, I highly recommend going over to our friends Disney Food Blog. They are Tiny Train Town crazed. Love it. So head over and check out their Tiny Town saga on their website. It is, whew, didn't know Epcot had a dark side, and apparently it's very small. Number 2, you can look for hidden characters. If you love hidden details like we do, hidden gems like we do, then you probably look no further than Journey of Water. This Moana themed attraction has so many hidden characters, it's kind of hard to find them all. There are 18 different characters you can find in the rockwork. Moana, Baby Moana, Hey Hey, Pua, Kakamora, Maui's Tattoo, Maui's Hook, a boat, Moana's boat, Baby Sea Turtle, Adult Sea Turtle, Tafiti, Tafiti's Heart, Tamatoa, Moana's Seashell, Grandma Tala, a fish and a starfish. Pretty cool. I feel like something is right here. I can't fully tell. Oh yes, that's Tafiti. I see it. Ooh, I see Maui's Hook. There's Maui's Hook. Pua. There's Moana's boat and the boat. All right, double boat. Stingray, is that even listed? That's cool, that's like my favorite one so far. I just found Maui's Hook again. The good news is I'm leaving some for you to find. And not because I can't find them, but because isn't it fun to find them? This is cool because it's like a wave. Oh, it's Baby Moana. I'm not gonna lie, this one's kind of creepy, but I also kind of love it. This is Krakatoa and the rock here. Shiny! Kakamora are spitting in the wall over there. That's probably the heart of the ocean right there. I don't think I did too badly, but I don't know that I did great. Maybe I should see the next hidden gem. Careful, you're sitting on the robots. Number 1, you're sitting on the robots at American Adventure. The American Adventure is an incredible show where you see tons of animatronics bring American history to life. It's on the longer side and it really is more of a historical show, so it doesn't get all of the flowers that I think it really should because it is such a cool feat of technical engineering. Now there are 35 audio animatronics and 10 different sets used throughout the course of this show, but where do they go when they're not on stage? It's not like they're people who can just go back to the dressing room. So Disney had to get a bit creative about storing these guys between the scenes. During the show, the animatronics are under the seating of the auditorium during the show, and this building is actually much taller than it looks. Disney uses forced perspective to make this building look a little smaller. It makes it look about 2 stories, when in reality it's about 3 stories high to house these animatronics. So while you're watching the show, the animatronics are actually under your seats, and the sets and animatronics are swapped out using this massive machine called the War Wagon. This huge machine is 65 feet by 35 feet by 14 feet and weighs a whopping 175 tons. When it's time for a new scene to hit the stage, the old scene lowers and gets swapped out with the new scene to move up into its place. And that continues throughout the show in a cycle. That's why when you're heading into the theater, you have to go up escalators or elevators to get to the seating. Disney used to offer a tour where you could go behind the scenes of all 4 parks, and I was lucky enough to do it when my brother turned 18, because you had to be 18 and older, so my family did it. Probably my favorite part of the whole tour was seeing behind the scenes in American Adventure. There was a lot of cool stuff. We saw the, where they make the topiaries for Flower and Garden. We saw inside the costuming department where they were actively creating costumes. But this was so cool. We actually got to go behind the scenes of American Adventure while the show was running and watch the War Wagon swap those scenes out. It is much bigger than you can imagine. I so wish we could have taken video, but no video backstage. But it was incredible, and they don't offer that tour anymore. If you're still here, please like this video, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our complete tour of Epcot coming to the channel soon.